Hello students, welcome to Geography class of 10th standard. As we are doing Agriculture in India part 1 introduction, lesson number 10 of Geography book. So far we have discussed about agriculture, its importance in India, salient features of Indian agriculture, green revolution and the problems of Indian agriculture. The objectives of the day are to study about the types of farming in India and national agricultural policy. Before we start, let's discuss some important terms of the topic. Number 1 is subsistence farming, a system of agriculture in which the farmer produces exclusively for his own consumption. Number 2 is commercial farming, a system of agriculture in which food crops are produced specially for sale in the market. Next one is intensive commercial farming. The intensive type of farming is mostly practiced in those regions where the cultivable land is limited and the density of population is high. Next is extensive farming. The extensive type of farming is practiced in those areas where the cultivable land is abundant and the density of population is low. Plantation farming is a type of commercial farming where a single crop of tea, coffee, sugarcane, rubber is grown. Next is crop rotation. It is a type of farming in which different crops being alternatively grown on the same land. Next one is mixed farming. The rearing of cattle is done along with cultivation of crops. Next is organic farming, a technique which involves the cultivation of plants and rearing of animals in natural ways. And the last one, biological pest control, a method in which living organisms are used to control pests without or with the limited use of chemicals. Now let's start the topic with a little introduction. As we know, India is a big country and has a great diversity in physical features, climatic conditions, soil fertility, etc. Many types of farming have developed in India due to highly variable environmental conditions. Some of the important types of farming practiced in different parts of India. Let's discuss one by one. Now, students, take out your book, page number 207, Types of Farming in India. Indian agriculture can be divided into the following categories. Number 1, subsistence farming. Number 2, commercial farming. Number 1 is subsistence farming. It is a system of agriculture in which the farmer produces exclusively for his own consumption. In India, agriculture is still of the subsistence type. This involves the cultivation of food crops like rice, wheat, and pulses. As such, the farmer and his family members consume the entire farm produce and do not have any surplus production to sell in the market. Let's understand in simple language subsistence agriculture. Most of the farmers in India practice subsistence agriculture, especially in the tribal areas of Assam and in the Himalayan mountains. Rice is the main crop grown in such areas. Students, subsistence farming is mostly practiced for the maintenance of farmers' family. The total production is just enough to meet the requirements of the farmer's family. The land holdings are small and scattered. The farmers use primitive tools and traditional techniques. The yields per hectare are low and normally there is no surplus production for sale. The farmers are poor and have a low standard of living. Manures such as household waste, animals, droppings, and green manures are used as fertilizers. Where water is available for irrigation, some cash crops like cotton, jute, oilseeds, pulses, sugarcane, or vegetables are grown. Come back to the reading again. Subsistence agriculture is of two types. Primitive type, which is used to be practiced in the past in backward equatorial areas. In this type, farmers use simple tools and primitive techniques to grow food for their own use. Next is shifting agriculture or slash and burn or zooming. In this type of agriculture, mostly practiced in northeast India, a patch of forest land is cleared by burning and crops are grown. After 2 3 years, when the fertility of the soil is exhausted, the land is abandoned and the farmer moves to a fresh piece of land and the process continues. After 10 15 years, the farmer may return to the first piece of land. This is very crude and primitive method resulting in large scale deforestation and soil erosion. This type of agriculture has now been banned by the government. In very densely populated countries like India and China, farmers are forced to use the small land holding to produce enough for their own consumption. The little remaining produce is used for exchange against other goods. These farmers try to obtain maximum yield from the available lands. They use manure, artificial irrigation, and animal waste as manure. This type of farming is called intensive subsistence farming. Students, shifting agriculture of primitive agriculture is mostly practiced in the backward forested hilly areas of northeastern states like Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and parts of Kerala. Shifting agriculture is known by different names in different parts of India, such as Zam cultivation in Assam, Pudu in Andhra Pradesh and Orissa, Kumari in Western Ghats, Valra in southeastern Rajasthan, Pedabera in Madhya Pradesh, and slash and burn in Bihar. The shifting agriculture is mostly practiced by the tribal livings in the forested area. They clear the forest by cutting trees and burning the stumps to prepare land for farming. The cleared land is cultivated with primitive tools for 2 or 3 years. This makes the soils unproductive due to leaching. These fields are abundant and normally weeds and other unwanted plants encroach upon such land. Now the tribal farmers choose another patch of forested land and follow the above explained system of agriculture. Shifting agriculture is still practiced on a small scale, but the government is educating the tribal about its wasteful nature. Students, shifting cultivation is a serious problem as it enhances soil erosion and the yields per hectare are very low. Next type is crop rotation. Crop rotation can be classified as a type of subsistence farming. It is characterized by different crops being alternatively grown on the same land in a specific order to have more effective control of weeds, pests, diseases, and more economical utilization of soil fertility. It also used to check soil erosion, increase net profit, and mitigate the risk of weather changes. In India, leguminous crops are grown alternatively with wheat, barley, and mustard. Students, crop rotation involves planting a sequence of different kinds of crops in a location over a number of seasons. Rotating crops helps maintain or improve soil health and maintain or increase the productivity of the farm over time. Come back to the reading again. Next point is commercial farming. It is a system of agriculture in which food crops are produced specially for sale in the market by using improved varieties of seeds and machineries. Let's discuss what is commercial farming. Students, the main aim of commercial farming is to produce only those crops which can be easily sold in the market. These are called cash crops, such as sugarcane, oilseeds, pulses, tobacco, cotton, jute, spices, etc. The commercial farming can be intensive or extensive and is mainly practiced in the areas of sparse population. The commercial farming has the following features. Commercial farming is not successful in those states where the land holdings are small, fragmented, and scattered. The land holdings are medium or large size. The cash crops are grown for sale in the market. Machines and skilled labor is used for increasing yield per hectare. Modern scientific methods are used to increase production. Due to land reforms, commercial farming is become popular in Punjab, Haryana, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Assam, and some other parts of India. Come back to the reading again. Commercial farming is of two types: intensive commercial farming and extensive commercial farming. Number one is intensive commercial farming. Intensive farming is a kind of agriculture where a lot of money and labor are used to increase the yield that can be obtained per area of land. The use of large amounts of pesticides for the crops and chemical fertilizers is common. Now, intensive crop farming is a modern form of intensive farming that refers to the industrialized production of crops. Advantages of intensive farming. Number one is high crop yield. Number two, farmers can easily monitor the land as they have small land holdings. Number three, more than one crop can be grown in the same field. Number four, intensive commercial farming is practiced in the countries where the population pressure reduces the size of land holdings. And number five is this type of agriculture is practiced in monsoon lands of Asia, including India, Punjab, Haryana, UP, West Bengal, etc., China, Japan, etc. Let us discuss in a simple way. The intensive type of farming is mostly practiced in those regions where the cultivable land is limited and the density of population is high. The farmers make sincere efforts to get a maximum possible production from the limited land. It is mostly practiced in the irrigated areas in the northern plains and the coastal plains of India. Come back to the reading again. The second type is extensive commercial farming. It is a system of agriculture in which relatively small amounts of capital or labor investment are applied to relatively large areas of land. At times, the land is left fallow to regain its fertility. It is mostly mechanized as labor is very expensive or may not be available at all. It usually occurs at the margins of the agriculture system, at a great distance from market, or on poor land or limited potential. It is practiced usually in the Terai regions of North India. Crops grown are sugarcane, rice, and wheat. Students, let me simplify this. The extensive type of farming is practiced in those areas where the cultivable land is abundant and the density of population is low. The farmer specializes in the production of one or two commercial crops such as rice, wheat, sugarcane, etc. The extensive farming has the following features. Number one is the land holdings or the size of farms are very large. Machines are widely used for various farm operations. The yield per hectare is low, but the total production is large. Next type of farming is, come back to the reading, that is plantation farming. It is a system of agriculture located in a tropical or semi tropical environment, producing commodities on a large scale. Plantation agriculture was introduced in India by British in the 19th century. This type of agriculture involves growing and processing of a single cash crop purely meant for sale. Let's discuss. Plantation type of farming was introduced in tropical and subtropical regions by the Europeans. The plantations are generally large land holdings and follow the system of monoculture, that is, production of one crop on a perennial basis. Some of the crop produces on a plantation in India are tea, coffee, rubber, spices, etc. The success of plantation farming depends on the accessibility, large capital investment, availability of skilled labor, enough and cheap means of transport, etc. The plantation farming has developed in the hills of northeast and the south India. Come back to the reading again. Main features of plantation farming: large capital, vast extensive estates, managerial ability, technical know how, sophisticated farm machinery, fertilizers, good transport facilities for laborers and workers by way of the providing accommodations, schools, houses, hospitals, market, and other amenities. This type of agriculture is mainly practiced in Assam, Sub-Himalayan, West Bengal, in the north, and in the Nilgiris, Annamalai, and Cardamom hills in the south. The most important plantation crops are tea, coffee, coconut, palm oil, spices, banana, cinchona, and rubber. Most of these crops are grown as a single cash crop on a large scale and are exported. A single crop is grown by a scientific method of cultivation using latest technical help. Next type of farming is mixed farming. In mixed farming, the rearing of cattle is done along with cultivation of crops. In some cases, fruits and vegetables or poultry farming is also practiced. This is a market oriented farming system and practiced in thickly populated areas or near towns and cities. The mixed farming has the following features. Number one, two or more crops having different maturing periods are grown at the same time. Rotation of crops is necessary and the yields per hectares are generally high. Mixed farming provides steady income to the farmers even during the adverse climatic conditions. Efficient methods of farming, quick means of transport, and ready market in the nearby areas are helpful. Come back to the reading. Take out your page number 209, mixed farming. In this type of farming, cultivation of crops and rearing of livestock is done simultaneously. Its characteristics features are: number one, advanced technology is used for plowing, sowing, and harvesting of crops. Second, the best quality seeds, modern machineries, and proper use of chemical fertilizers gives higher yield as compared to other methods of farming. Number 3, crop rotation is a common practice. Root crops like beets, turnip, leguminous like beans and peas are grown to maintain fertility of the soil. In addition, poultry, dairy farming, and horticulture, that is agriculture related to fruits and vegetable, is practiced on the same farm. This type of agriculture is most common in highly developed countries of the world like Western Europe, Southeast Canada, Northeast United States, and large parts of Russia. In India, it is not very common as large scale land holdings are not available due to population pressure. Also, advanced technology is lacking in our still developing country. Next is single crop plantation, same as monoculture. In this type of agriculture, only one crop is grown in the whole plantation. It is more common in tropical countries because there is no fear of frost. Tea and rubber plantations in India are its examples. Next type of farming is organic farming. In India, agriculture remains the main occupation as it suffers one of the most important basic needs of the population, that is food. Therefore, many new ways and methods are being introduced in this field to harvest and cultivate the best quality crop with increased production. Hence, organic farming is an agricultural method wherein the following techniques are used. Crop rotation, a technique of growing various kinds of crops in the same area according to different seasons in a sequential manner. Green manure refers to the dying plants that are uprooted and stuffed into the soil in order to use them as a nutrient for the soil to increase its fertility. Biological pest control, a method in which living organisms are used to control pests without or with limited use of chemicals. Next is compost. Compost highly rich nutrients. This is a recycled organic matter used as a fertilizer in the agricultural farm. Students, organic farming is a technique which involves the cultivation of plants and rearing of animals in natural ways. This process involves the use of biological materials, avoiding synthetic substances to maintain soil fertility and ecological balance, thereby minimizing pollution and wastage. Now next question come to you, that how is organic farming done? The principal methods of organic farming includes crop rotation, green manure, compost, biological pest control, and mechanical cultivation. Students, compost is made by decomposing organic material into simpler organic and inorganic compounds in a process called composting. Now students, next topic is National Agriculture Policy. What is agriculture policy? Agriculture policy describes a set of laws relating to domestic agriculture and imports of foreign agriculture products. Government usually implement agriculture policies with the goal of achieving a specific outcome. The main objectives of the new agriculture policy are conservation of natural resources and protection of environment, food and nutritional security, diversification of agriculture, management of inputs for greater efficiency, development of rural infrastructure, marketing and value addition, improving rural credits. Let's discuss in detail with the reading. National Agriculture Policy. Agriculture is one of the most important backbones of Indian economy. It has special significance for low income, poor and vulnerable sections. Vulnerable sections are physically and emotionally wounded people of rural society. Therefore, proper policy for agriculture sector is essential to improve the living standards and the welfare of the people as a whole. The Indian government announced the National Agriculture Policy in July 2000. Its principal aims and objectives are to remove the major problems of agriculture and improve the complications related to improper and inefficient uses of natural resources. It is mainly designed to raise agriculture production and productivity. Some of the salient features and objectives of national agriculture policies are: number 1 is modernizing agriculture sector. Number 2 is enhancing yield of major commodities. Number 3 is raising the productivity of inputs. Number 4 is protecting the interest of underprivileged farmers and agriculturists. Underprivileged means not enjoying the same standard of living. Checking environment degradation, agriculture research and training. Next is measures taken to accomplish the suggested objectives: to utilize the barren wasteland for agriculture purpose and afforestation. Wastelands means unused area. Afforestation means growing more and more trees. To control indiscriminate division of agricultural land for non-agricultural uses. Enhance cropping through multi-cropping and intercropping means growing two or more crops simultaneously. Example, garlic with tomatoes and coffee with bananas. To emphasize rational use of ground and surface water so that overexploitation of groundwater resources can be checked. Supporting farmers and landless laborers by providing adequate financial incentives. So, students, this is all about today's topic, and with this, we have completed our Agriculture Introduction, Chapter 10 of your geography book. Hope you understood well. You have to solve the back exercise. We will meet very soon. Have a nice day. Thank you.